स्टार्ट तो करो यूट्यूब। स्टार्ट तो करो यूट्यूब। ओके ओके सो स्टार्ट तो करो यूट्यूब। ओके सो हेलो एवरीवन। ओके हेलो एवरीवन, I am Sajal Singh and I welcome you all to this exclusive webinar on how to use your next 6 months effectively. And basically, these 6 months we call as the golden 6 months. Reason being, because it is these 6 months that prepare the base for your next year's attempt. It is how well you utilize these 6 months that will decide that whether you are going to Lavasana or not. The problem is that majority of the aspirants, because of time wala thing, because you have prelims after, let's say, 9-10 months. So because of that, they waste these 5-6 months and they end up regretting it next year, right? So ultimately, for this, we are conducting this session, and with me, I have my uh, last year mains mentorship program student, Priyanshu, who scored AIR 123 this year. And before I invite him, I would also like to announce that the first batch of our main test series 2026 has been announced, and the links are there in the box also, so you can check out about that. It's starting from 30th July, and in that I have 20 lectures of answer writing where I'll be sharing all the templates, etc. Plus the one-to-one mentorship program Nitya Pragati batch 4 is also launched, and this will start from 10th August. So both these programs are there in the list. You can check it out. So first of all, Priyanshu, thank you for coming and thank you for sharing your insights. So in this session, we will be basically talking about all aspects. जैसा हमने किया था कि 6 months कैसे करने हैं. So your aspects, your kind of the way you kind of used it, and in the end, we will also take some questions from the students. So whatever doubts you have, you can please type these doubts, and in the end of the session, we'll take these doubts. So first of
Thank you,
all,
sir. Thank you so much for inviting me at first. And adding before we start about the importance of the 6 month, I'll just want to brief about my own very journey with the UPSC that will actually give the more essence of the importance of these 6 months. So I was in my first attempt, so I started just 3-4 months before prelims and reading just pre, and I was able to clear prelims, and then I just have few 3 months to prepare for mains, and I was pretty sure I won't be able to make it. But what challenge actually occurred is that even though I know I won't be able to make it to the mains, and the same occurred. So I got trapped into that cycle that I am clearing prelims but not getting a right time for mains. So luckily in my second attempt I was unable to clear prelims. I'm calling it lucky because then I got this good amount of time, like these 5-6 months, to actually prepare for mains. So when I was completed my mains and in third attempt, when I got a chance to write prelims again, so mains was never a challenge. I cleared prelims and I got to the list and got AIR 442 and subsequent improvement to rank 123. So that my journey actually signifies that importance of 6 months, because if they are being used judiciously, I don't think you need to even think of another attempt and can even get that good tag of clearing it in a first attempt.
okay. So Priyanshu, first thing is that we call these 5-6 months as the mains months, right?
Yes,
Now,
true.
what exactly do you think should be, if we talk about the broad plan, what do you think should be the broad plan for these 5-6 months?
So what I used to call them is a make or break months, because 5-6 months of mains preparation is actually gonna decide that where not only where you'll whether you will be in the list or whether on and at what position you will be on the list, because the mains is actually the place where you actually get the right ranks that you want. See, the mathematics speaks very simply. If you score around 850 or 820 plus in mains, That means your rank in top 40 is sure shot. So that's the essence of mains, and mains is actually somewhere which gives you an opportunity to
There is some problem with the. I think there is some problem uh, in his internet. I believe so. Uh, Let me just check it.
Hello. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
I think there was some problem with the net. आपके side.
No, actually, someone has actually left me out of the meeting, so I need to rejoin. Like I was.
अच्छा तो
Uh,
नहीं तो ब्लर हो रहा था ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है so let's
okay.
start from where we left in fact because I हाँ so we were in the हाँ so we were in the major wo this thing so ultimately let's start with that कि in these 5 months what do you think should be the broad plan.
Okay, sir, like these 5, 6 months, as they are called a make or break months. So the most important part of these very month is that to bring the right mindset of the mains preparation, and that right mindset is not just about we studying a lot, but also prepared with writing the answers. Because somewhere down the line, there's been an observation that people think mains is about reading, but in my personal experience, it's more to do with the writing, because if you have a good amount of content and if you're not able to condense on the right time at a right place, then it's not gonna give you any value addition or any good marks. So for me the mains preparation is to first start with understanding the PYQs, pick out the previous year question, understand what the questions are being asked, and after that understand that what answers has to be written. So as like last year, what I understood that there are a very essence of the tail words that is being asked in the questions. So these minute details has to be understood before you get into the game. And when you are preparing for the mains, optionals, ethics, and essay are called the trinities of examination. These must not be left for the last minute jerks. So it's better that we devolve them a good amount of time. And GS studies has to be integrated with your prelims examination, because when you prepare for pre and mains together, the facts are being covered and the mains are being covered with the depth of the knowledge. So integrate the practice and devolve a good amount of time from ethics, essay, and optionals, because they will define whether you will end up high in the list.
Okay. Now, what do you think should be the daily schedule, and do you think we should also integrate prelims also in this preparation? Yeah, it should only be devoted for the mains.
Okay, like for the first ones who are starting just now, so they should not run behind segregating prelims and mains. Their education, their knowledge has to be holistic. It is starting from the facts and understanding the concepts, utility of the concepts, and application. Everything has to be covered in a broader manner, a broad notes, a broad understanding. But for the people who have actually written prelims and have gained the confidence in the journey, and they believe that prelims they can able to tackle, they can totally shift to mains mode and utilize this time more for the answer writing. And for the third crowd who is like they are also getting stuck in the prelims and not able to clear prelims with ease, they can actually devolve an hour of a time to either solve a PYQs or do more of an MCQ practices. So that time for the prelims is sufficient, and around 8 to 10 hours for mains, because that is, because at the end of the day it's very simple mathematics. Even if you clear prelims, it does not make sense if you're not clearing mains. So prelims has to be given the time just like an hour or two at max, and mains has to do the major amount of working. And in mains also scheduling has to be done where you're not leaving any stone unturned, because there are tendencies, sir, as we have also discussed in our discussions, that subjects like national security is there, IR is there, these subjects are mostly left for the last minute time. So if you have a 5 months good amount of time, prepare everything. Don't leave anything for the last minute time, because for me the last minute means value addition, and that's it. So just utilize in this manner, complete all your notes making, start a very initial of your answer writing, and also get the good amount of catch or the practice in essay ethics and optionals.
Okay. Now the major thing that is very important is that a lot of people say that you have to be mains ready by December and January end, right? What are the components of being mains ready in this examination?
So for me, I believe the biggest component is that you have written good amount of answers when you have moved to the month of December of January,
Mhm.
because mains ready person means that once the prelims is done, he is actually ready to start writing answers right after a week or two. Because if he's still stuck in the note making process or doing value addition or condensing note, that means the person still in the preparatory stage of mains. So for me, if I have to justify in some statistical order, so I have created that till my January month, I have to actually complete one full length test of all the GS papers, optionals and essay, and get them properly evaluate and understand where I stand, so that when I moved out of those pre months, when I've completed my pre in the May end or uh, June starting, I don't need to waste my time to identify what I have to do for mains. So my all strategies jot down, and because at the end it's all about the mains game.
Now a lot of people also ask me this question that हमारा अभी पूरी तरह से content नहीं हुआ है, right? And should we start answer writing? So, what do you think? Do you think that we should start answer writing side by side when we are reading, or we should first finish all the syllabus and then after that we should go for the answer writing part?
From my personal experience, I believe even if I've got 15, 10 attempts, I won't be able to complete the matter. So the content is like a vast ocean, and completing content is not even a game. Like I know as a first initial attempts of my preparation, I was also running behind the content. But what I realized from my initial failure is that it's not a game about you knowing the content. It's about how better you present and write that very content. So the important aspect is that answer writing will make you more smart. That even though you have a very limited content, but you can smartly utilize the very same content. So, for example, from my very practices, like when I used to read world history, so for me, world history is not just about GS1 paper. I will be use the jargons and story in my essay paper. I'll reflect that stories in my ethics paper, and also if I got an opportunity, I'll use some examples, either highlighting the economic aspect, whether with the Great Depression part or in certain other areas like in politics science. So while we are doing our mains preparation, if you are done with a minimal content, start directly with answer writing, because that will make you more aware of how to use the very same content. Because honestly, everybody believe that they don't have the content to write, But if you start writing, you understand it's not about you knowing the content, it's about condensing the content and how you value put the content. Because one need to understand that after studying so much, the problem will be that whether my content is coming at a right place or not. So after you have done a bare minimum, the basics are been studied once, start doing your mains preparation, mains answer writing, and that will be also a mode of revision.
Okay. Now, initially, I mean, do you think that aspirants should also take a reference of, let's say, they should first read the content and after that they should attempt the question? And do you think that in the beginning we should be adhering to the time limit?
I believe that adhering to the time limit is important part that cannot be neglected, but it can be done in a more practical manner. Like when I used to do my earlier answer writing, I don't restrict myself to 3 hours. I'll rather give myself 3.5 or 4 hours. So a bare minimum to ensure that I'm not just writing a paper whole day, but also not putting a lot of extra pressure on my mind that I have to finish it in 3 hours. So that can be customized as per where your preparation stand. If you believe like you have read a good amount of content and if you are ready to write your answers, I think you can start with giving yourself 4 hours and 4.5 or 5 hours in an ethics paper, because it's a very different ball game. So you can do that, and as you write 2 3 tests, started reducing by 10 minutes 15 minutes, and in this manner you will streamline the process, and you, without compromising on your quality, you will start writing fast.
Now, with respect to the PYQs, right? How do you think we should go for daily answer writing, or do you daily answer writing of PYQs, or do you think we should be part of some test series and do this weekly or bi-weekly test? What do you think is a better way to practice answer writing?
So for me, doing PYQ is mandate. That's not gonna go anywhere. But daily doing a mains PYQ, I don't believe is a sufficient task, because if we see the dynamism of the paper, like GS2 paper, for example, if we pick out the 2024 paper, it's a very different ball game. It has actually changed the pattern. There's a lot of law-based questions coming up rather than the earlier constitutional aspects are being asked more frequently. So PYQs can be helpful to understand the language of UPSC questions, because at some point we have to understand identifying the right subparts, what are the tailbirds being put at the back, how much percent for and against, because it's not like you to and fro 50 50 points and coming to the conclusion. That's not the question. If things are critically examined or if they are asking to discuss, so at times you have to take sides, at times you have to illustrate with examples. So we need to be very cautious with that words, and I think in that particular sense test series is helpful. Like if you are join a test series, you get to understand these basic nuances. And I know, see, in the market, not everybody might be cautious of that very thing, and the question's quality may deteriorate, but use it with a pinch of salt, that it is being tailored in a manner that you are actually ready to write answers in a time, and also able to bring out what you believe is the best version of yourself. So not doing a test series is not a go through. You have to write test. Only the thing is that writing tests should be totally based on your potential, your capabilities, and your own judgment. So whatever things, see, for sir, honestly, I'm telling you, you have seen my templates going 1 to 2 and 3 and 4. So it's a more like a practice ground. So if I'll call it in a cricket language, if your match is in lots, you need to prepare in very different conditions. Then only you would be ready to play in the lots. So in the same way, try different templates, try different techniques that you believe, try different approaches, see whichever work which is working for you, and that is only possible if you write test, and that test can be written in a more proper manner if you are registered somewhere or if you are giving in a time basis.
Now, with respect to note taking, like a lot of people say that they are the weapons for answer writing, right? So, how are the notes that are made for mains different from the notes that are made, for the prelims round?
Sir, for mains, I believe the notes is like most important part, because from my personal experience, when I was going for my first mains, I was suitcase of notes to read just few nights before my mains, and till coming to this very attempt, it was just one copy of GS1, GS2, GS3, just like that. So condensing the content is very important, specifically with notes of mains. So, like if you are doing your first iteration, there can be very enlarged notes. You can actually put on pages like 500, 600 odd pages. No problem, done with that. After the one iteration, you have to start making notes in more in an mains answer writing mode. Like what I used to do, there are very defined syllabus of mains. So I keep picked up all the keywords from the syllabus. I put them as a heading and a 250 words prepared for that, so that if a basics is asked, so I can directly pick it up on that. That used to be my 50% of notes, and rest 50% of my notes is the value addition that I need to add. Like you used to give us the good introduction, the good conclusion, and we can use some jargons into end the conclusion. So that makes my 50% of the notes, because at the end of the day the game is not about how well you write. You have to be also competitive in the exam, because the competition is going at a very next level. The answers, the quality coming up actually ask you to give that extra yards. And I think that extra yards helped me in my attempt from jumping from 760 marks in my initial selection time to 800 odd marks in second attempt. So that is the importance of making more condensed note and more main specific notes, and in a manner that you can actually directly reproduce in your exam.
Now, I would also like to announce you that whatever doubts you have, whatever questions you have, please type it because in the end, we'll take each and every question. So don't worry about it. Whatever doubts you have with respect to your next 6 months, because the topic is next 6 months mains preparation. So let's keep the doubts around that only. Okay. So with respect to note taking, right now, do you think that this is the best time to make notes? मतलब बेसिकली अगर हम बात करें तो एक होता है बल्कि नोट्स जिसको हम कहते हैं फर्स्ट लेयर ऑफ नोट्स. Then you have those one pager notes. So did you made one pager notes?
Yes, sir. I did that because at the end of the day, it's mostly to do with the one night before your exam. Because if that confidence carries with you in an examination hall, you will actually do good. So one pager note is good in the term that when you are not aware what to read, what to revise at a very last moment of your mains examination, these notes are helpful because they'll actually make you more confident that none of the topic is being left to go through your eyes. And also there are chances that whenever you are stuck somewhere and you don't know nothing, so you have a very basics ready to actually facilitate yourself with those 1 or 2 marks rather than getting a pure zero in that. So I believe one pager note is most important. And to answering your to the first question that you have asked, I believe this is the right time. This is the best time to make your mains notes, because trust me, between prelims and mains, preparation is will be haywire. You don't know when to write tests, you don't know when to sleep, when to eat, or when to do optionals. So if everything is condensed, everything is ready before your mains examination, the process become very smooth. It's very streamlined. You can actually prepare, plan your day that I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that, and everything can be done in a very easier manner. So make your notes, make your that final notes that you will be revising on your very after the prelims and in between the gap of prelims and mains, and you are not stuck in the series that you have to read a lot and compromising your answer writing.
I think that's a very fair point because now the gap between prelims and mains exam has been, it has been reducing. This year, it's even less than 3 months.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I believe that if your notes are ready and you are just doing the final update, because definitely you will do the final update because वो 4-5 months का जो छूट गया
Current affairs, yes, sir.
होगा, हाँ, जब आप prelims mode पे आ गए होंगे, तो उसमें it will not take much time. But if let's say you are starting from scratch, then I
Hmm.
believe that it will consume you because I've seen that this year also I've seen that a lot of students have started making after prelims. So now they are stuck in that cycle where they are, making these notes for like 5-6 hours a day, and they are left
Yes, sir.
no time for answer writing
And
and answer studying.
I just don't want to fear, guys, but that's a fact that most of the people who will be writing mains are those who have actually cracked the exam before. They're either writing for the rank improvement or value addition for their mains. So the competition is not that it will favor you if you are first timer or if you are not done mains. The answers are evaluated and they don't see that what is the background of that very person. So you have to be very smart. You have to actually play with those people who are already in services and still looking for value for rank improvement. So if you want to be prepared and on the very same ground with them, like as I said, so you have to do that extra yard. Use these 6 months to actually get yourself at par with those people, and then you can play on a very fair playgrounds.
I think 78 my students who've got rank last year, they are writing
Yes.
means this year. So
Yeah, sir. That's a maths.
definitely. So I mean, half the seats are already reserved for
Yes, true.
who are, who have already got selected.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
uh, a lot of people, and this is the very very common query which I receive so many mails also, कि सर कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट वाले तो नोट्स दे ही रहे हैं, तो फिर हम क्यों नोट्स बनाए अपने? So do you think that we should completely rely on coaching notes जब मिल जा रहा है one page and everything, or do you think we should make our own notes?
So, okay, I'll share you a very good story. I got an opportunity to meet a professor who was evaluating a copy in UPSC a few years back. He said one thing to me, and that actually changed all my perceptions of UPSC. It said that no answers is been evaluated with the thing called model answer or the best answer. It's been evaluated to understand you as a person. So they are very smart. They read and answers properly, and they understand that what this person think. So, like if you are totally relying on a coaching material or some ready-made material, the answers duplicates. Your mindset duplicates. So, like for example, if a person is referred the same coaching notes, writing on a very same page, and the person be come up with the same very answer, trust me, person is safe, but person B will be compromised. That person will actually have to face a lot of compromise marks. Either his marks will deteriorate directly to 40%, 30% of what person A has scored. So don't ever think that you'll directly copy coaching notes, because if somebody who is directly utilizing that, the competition will might be a very false game for you. It might actually make you lose all your hard works and all your tough yards, because you, for the evaluator, he might be thinking that this person has actually read the very same notes and not utilize his own very mind or his own very strategy. So if you are very pure, if you make your own notes, first you don't rely on just one material. You do lot of what I say competitiveness, that you do lot of pick pointing out the good things. Your notes are always ready to be amended time after time. And also the best part is that they are full of best practices and value additions. So on the very same note, I request everyone, please do make your own notes, and trust me, it's all about owning your own preparation, so that even if we fail, we say that okay, we fought like a warrior and we failed as a warrior.
I think the point you've made is very good because I see when I see this Panchayati Raj wala
Hmm.
answers this time also, when I'm seeing it, everybody has given the same example: Chavi Razawat, Chavi Razawat, Chavi Razawat. So
Yeah.
because they all have referred to one single source, and they are,
Yes,
they
sir.
have kept it from that. So I think you've made a very good point that UPSC awards originality.
True,
And
sir.
originality will never come when you are completely relying on one coaching material, right?
Yes, sir.
Because
100%.
ultimately, definitely you can take it as a base, but then you have to build up upon it.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a very, very fair point.
That's yes, sir. And also the like what I have amended in my own very preparation is that at times you have to go a tough yards also. Like not just the coaching materials to say, but also some good books. You need to read some good books, some government reports, because they will be the further facilitators of your answers. Because everybody is on the same notes, because everybody is like, yeah, we don't have good content to read. Go on, guys, see the government websites. Everywhere you will find a very good amount of value additions. Like even every ministry come out with their own newsletters on every initiative. Read them and use the coaching materials of base, and add-ons has to be yours. It's totally your preparation. You need to own it. You need to make yourself better version of what you were yesterday.
So which government website and the material do you think that it is helpful for the mains preparation?
Mostly it's Niti Aayog. Like if you are going on a Niti Aayog website regularly, you will actually find best practices, value addition content directly made in a notes format. Apart from that, like there is always a run through that we don't have a good amount of example for culture. Go to Ministry of Culture. They actually come upon with very good like a newsletters on initiatives, and you can directly quote those examples. Furthermore, like sir, every ministry comes upon with their own very initiatives or something. So if you are talking about the specific paper on social justice, so go to Ministry of Social Justice. You will see that there are the best practices coming upon. Also, if you like, people used to read economic survey mostly for prelims aspect, but I believe it's a best document for mains. You can I quote best practices like mains in economic surveys, like one of the mandate book for mains. If you can directly pick up on the good examples from there, it's more helpful. Apart from that, second ARC is must if you are doing a governance part, because that is and sir, as we have seen also this year, they've directly asked that to make a code of ethics, and that is only been available in second ARC. So government also the UPSC also want us to refer these notes, these particular materials. And apart from that, reading Yojana and Kurukshetra is also good. You get a good practice, is good example. But if you are not having that amount of time, refer ministry website constantly. You'll find a good amount of examples.
With respect to, let's say, a daily, if we talk about a daily schedule, let's say if an aspirant is giving like 10 hours every day, uh, how do you think the time should be divided in these months?
Okay, so sir, what was my strategy is that I made a three major pillars. I was not preparing prelims these times, and I was like a 10 hours nearly about person. So I have a three slots, three majorly comprising of GS paper. Second is for ethics and essay because that is something we are doing it for the first time,
Mhm.
and third is for my optionals. So these are my three major pillars of devolving time. So on the basis of your comfort, you can also do the very same part. And then I have to do one most important thing is that I have to read the right material, the very basics of it, understand them, understand the concepts, because there is no replacement of understanding concepts. So for first few months it's pure reading, pure understanding, making bulky notes. And like I was not comfortable initially writing answers, so I avoided, because I believe that certain amount of content has to be there with you to actually start writing. That was my first two, I will say, around 1.5 and 2 months I did that. Now with when you are done for 1.5 2 months, you have some content of everything.
Mhm.
Now it's the game that you start understanding that okay, there are two shifts for me. First is that should I do the answer writing now, or should I complete my content? I am the person, I believe that the game is about writing answers. So in that particular three pillars, I'll divide it three-fourth of my time of every pillar for reading and answer writing, and one-fourth of my that particular slot for writing answers. And slowly it went to half and half, and at the let's it was all about answer writing in those three pillars. Apart from that, the most important thing is that after 2 3 months of preparation, you want to revise back. And I think the revision is the best way where you can make your mains notes.
Mhm.
So I think that will save your time. People think that revision has to be done and that can be just by repeating your notes and notes. I said, okay, let's not do that. I put a title on a middle of a page and do the hub spoke model, trying to find that how much I remember, and whatever was missing, I used to add them. So these one page totally on that very topic is completed. That was my mains notes also done on a very hub and spoke type model. And secondly, it is also a good way of revision that how much I remembered and how much my brain need to rewire to get the confidence back. So this is how I utilize these six months in a proper mathematical way.
So if we say that you have divided in three slots, so you were giving equal time to all, or it was like half optional and half GS plus ethics essay?
Okay, so sir, like for me, I had a good background in English also. So essay was not something which was time taking for me.
Mhm.
Ethics also, I think I made a very good amount of interest in a very initial time. So initially, I started with equal time to all three, but soon it was like the GS is a major big pillar. So I used to I then mostly condense the GS with essay ethics time, because there you need to put your 5 6 hours daily. And specifically GS3, if you start doing GS3, it's big game. So that was the way I used to do, and I fixed that at least 3 to 4 hours every day for optional. And I was not a person who used to read optional like paper one first and then paper two. I was like paper one and paper two together they are going, because there's a continuity in it reading. Like paper two is just an application of paper one, so if you read in a continuity, it actually makes you better understanding of the concepts.
Okay. Now, with respect to toppers copies, right? A lot of aspirants see these copies. So, how to best use these topper copies? Like
Proper
with respect
copies
to
are
answer
important.
writing and mains preparation. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So topper copies are must, I believe, because they'll give you that understanding that how to actually shape your answer. And I think that is the only examples to understand what was the difference between getting into the list and not getting into the list. But one has to be smart by using them. You are not to imitate someone's answers. Otherwise, you might get feeling stuck on, and it will feel like okay, I won't be able to do it. So I used to learn a lot from my previous year topper Animesh Pradhan's copy because they were really excellent. I used to understand that how he's approaching the answer, how and directly taking the content which I believe that I don't know. So in the very similar manner, the toppers copies can be referred where you can be very choosy to pick the content and understand how they're going for the answer. So same can be inculcated in your preparation, and specifically for mains, this at this very particular junction, use this copy to see ki not just get overwhelmed by the answers, or because since you have not even started writing answer, just see that how they've actually utilized different templates or frameworks to answer. And even you will see the best part is that mostly you'll find that there will be some question which they are also not aware. So how smartly they have played in those questions, so that they can fetch those extra 1 or 2 marks rather than getting that zero. So this is how you should analyze the toppers copy in my reference.
And I believe that to add on to it, because having mentored many rankers, I've seen that everyone is unique. For example, if I
Yes,
can remember your copy had a different element from the other copies. So I believe that we should see these toppers copy with a pinch of salt, that what we can implement.
yes,
For
sir.
example, let's say there are certain people who are not very comfortable in drawing diagrams, right? And they end up aping the toppers, and they end up leaving 2 3 questions because they were focusing on drawing those fancy diagrams. So
Yes,
I
sir.
feel that if you're not very great in, if you don't have a natural ability in drawing the diagrams, it's better to leave it and focus on other aspects of answer writing, because I mean, you can score well even without drawing a lot of these diagrams. So
Yes, sir.
I believe
100%.
I believe that we can take inspiration from the toppers copy and then see what are the things that we best can implement.
Yes,
Right.
sir. 100%.
Now, with respect to, because we are almost 10 months away from the next year prelims, and almost 1 year, 2 months, 3 months away from the next year mains. Now, a major problem is that how to motivate yourself. Like just in your second attempt, you had failed in prelims, right? तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि जैसे होता है, जैसे अभी का फेज है, जो लोग मेंस लिख रहे हैं, सो दे आर डेफिनेटली एवरी डे इज इंपॉर्टेंट. बट when you have 10 months for the prelims and you have already done the syllabus, how to keep yourself motivated and consistent during this whole period?
So, first of all, I believe that as an aspirant, we generally don't focus on our mental health. So, as I've been a constant speaker and constant worker in this very field, I understand that this preparation gonna make you very lonely. You'll be shelled. You'll be actually the word ghettoization, I believe, is designed for UPSC aspirant. So there will be time that you will be totally alone, and your mental health is actually at a back foot. At that time, it is very important to understand first the cause. Why have you started preparation? Everybody needs to have that very centrality of why they are writing answer, and not even for just examination but also for the continuity in services. So like when I was in my third attempt, I got an opportunity to discuss with the deputy director of my academy in railways. He told me one very good thing, that if you have a purpose coming to the civil services, you will never be asking for motivation, because down the line you know that where is your centrality is there. And second, that we are not asking you writing hobbies just for the daf, but that is something for you yourself also, that can actually make your nerves calm. It will actually give you that soothing effect, that when you are reading, you are not thinking anything out of the blues from there. So my serious request to everyone, that don't even compromise a percent on your mental health. If you're not feeling okay, if you're feeling tired, talk to your mentors, all the teachers, experts, and even friends, family, because that is first and best therapy in such tough times. Second, always have your table centered with not just AIR1 maps and photos. Also put your cause for which you think you have come to the civil service, or which can be your driving force. So in this manner, whenever you are down or you are feeling you're not confident, that will be something that can motivate you to continue and have that perseverance in your journey. So that was my way of continuing.
Okay. Now, last question. After that, we'll take the questions from the students. So, How do you think are templates, pre-prepared templates, important for the mains preparation and especially for answer writing?
Uh, just a very small answer to that. It will help you jump 50 plus marks. I know now I'll be explaining you more because see, there are two part to it. First, there are 20 questions, and at any point you won't be good with writing all 20 questions. Now the game is how much you can do the collateral damage minimized. First, templates. What templates do? They won't waste your time to identify what has to be written. You see the questions, you know my this template works here, and you start writing. Second, there's no repeatability of approaches. First, like as we all know, sir, everybody is going with a pastel approach, and it's actually gone out of a roof.
It's
There are more ways. you
yes.
you can even try stakeholders approach. You can even try different types of people. You can try like people, process, persons, everything. So there are very very different approaches that can be inculcated in your one copy. Benefit shows your diversity of knowledge. Your understanding is depth. It's not just a superficially around the pastel approach. That is the benefit of templates. And third, it will help you score something where you were actually gonna score zero. That is the biggest step, because see, at the end of the day, when you come upon with your mark sheets and all the results, you'll see that it's a game of a margin. It's not a game like 30-40 marks have actually made the difference. 5-6 marks actually gonna throw you in and out of a result. So if you are good with the templates, you can actually fetch those point 0.5 marks extra in every 10-20 question. That means 10 plus. And even in such some questions where you were actually gonna get zero, you can get one or two. So it will be like a benefit of 15 marks in one each paper. And if you do it in a seven paper constant, it's 100 marks that can actually make a big amount of difference. That's the importance and maths behind the templates. And I think everyone must use that in their preparation.
So, another announcement that in the mains test series 2026, I'll be taking 20 lectures on these answer writing templates. Now, let's take the questions from the people. So, basically, Shreya Dubey is saying how to evaluate your own answers. Like, let's say if you've not joined anything, how to evaluate that?
A good question, Shreya. And I think not only for those who have not joined, also for those who have joined, self evaluation is the most important part. So there are few things which needs to be taken care first. When you have attempted the question, what you were planning to write, has everything been condensed there? Because initially when you write answer, you see the pages are over and you have lot to write. So are you able to manage your word limit in a right manner or not? Second, are you able to give the right importance, right placement of things? Like if some point is very crucial, are they coming on top and then you are doing just a value addition below that? Third, the period that you have taken to write an answer. Not initially, it may not make a lot of difference, but when you are going in a final examination, time frame is very important. So are you able to do that? Fourth, are you able to feel that you own the very answer, or you have just written it for the sake of writing answer? So if you evaluate yourself in these four big frameworks, you are good to go for your mains.
Arnav is saying what should be the chronology? Content reading, one pager notes, and then answer writing. Is that the right chronology?
I'll just make it more clear. Content reading is short first, but don't put it as a manner that 1 2 3 has to be done. It can be like 1 2 and 3 together. Like rather than making it more synchronized in a hierarchical model, let's do more like a like shifting from rule based model to role based model, as we quote. So try to be more innovative. Don't just restrict yourself ki I'll do this first, then that, and then that. See, down the line, it's your preparation. I may say that this framework worked for me, but I'm not sure it will work for you. So be very choosy. Be very like you own the preparation. If it's working for you, well to do, excellent, go for it. But if you are not comfortable, read a content, start writing, and then one pager note can be done also. So it's totally on your choice and your comforts.
Now, some students are asking that if, let's say, we also want to prepare for prelims because we are very scared about prelims, how to integrate that prelims preparation with mains?
Okay. So, like if you have done with your basic notes making for the prelims is mostly a game of how you go for the MCQ part. Prelims is not your knowledge test only, though knowledge is important, but not knowledge is sufficient. So, when you are doing your preparation for prelims in these time, try to identify that how your brain is rewiring yourself for the solving MCQs. Are you understanding the options properly? Are you able to draw some pattern and see that which subject you are comfortable in doing your prelims? So that subject where you are comfortable, you can take a more number of guesswork or risk in that subject. So make it more mathematical, more organized now, that if I'm doing 50 MCQ, I have my proper chart, how many questions I done by fluke, how much I did by the knowledge, and then each subject analysis, that which subject I did good, which subject my flukes are working, which subjects not. Because there at the end of the day, you have to identify that these are my subjects where I can take risk. So make it more mathematical, try to analyze more deeper. That will help you sail through the prelims.
Now, Neha Verma is saying how to integrate or update current affairs in the static notes that I've made.
I believe that this is an ongoing process. What I have heard that people actually think current affairs is a very different part of static, but for me, it's a daily going on process. So for doing and integrating current affairs, don't make it as an habit that you read current affairs segregated from static. See, it's all a process. Current affairs will be something which is happening daily by daily. So whatever you read, you feel that it's important for you, integrate it in static notes. Don't wait for the lifetime compilations or things that can actually, you will be directly referring it to it, because that will be not a very good manner. You will actually miss out a lot of good essence or ethics content. So everyday process has to be like integrating my current affairs with whatever I have read to my static notes. And this is a process. This will go on and on. And at the end of the day, you won't be even thinking, ki, oh shit, my current affairs is not done, or I have not read the current affairs. So it's a process. Don't see it as a different game of current affairs. Just make it as a process and a habit that you read every day and integrate it with your notes.
Ashwini Nikam is saying that can newspaper be skipped and how many hours should we devote to current affairs every day?
Can you please repeat what the initial
Uh,
part?
can newspaper be skipped
Okay. So
and how
see,
many hours should we give to current affairs every day?
you can skip the newspaper if you want, but only thing is that even the principal secretaries, if you meet them, they are reading the newspaper, the Hindu even today. So if you are seeing yourself to be secretary of to the government of India at any point, I think you should start reading the newspaper now. That is the mandate in preparation, not just for the preparation, but to be more aware of what is going on around. Everything is not about preparation; it is also about your own growth. So for me, reading newspaper is mandatory to keep myself updated to what is happening in the nation, and actually it helps you in your UPSC preparation. So don't think that reading or non-reading a newspaper is for the UPSC preparation. It's for your own benefit. So don't skip newspaper. Read newspaper. For current affairs part, see, if you are reading your newspaper judiciously, I don't think you need any compilation or current affair part to integrate later on, because that is more than sufficient. But if you are feeling like, okay, I have read newspaper but not did a justice to it, then only you can jump on to current affairs, some magazines or some compilations to value addition. That was my approach.
Uh, with respect to the number of hours, do you think that we can completely rely on any monthly magazine or something?
I don't believe, sir, because UPSC preparation is not a 100-meter run; it's a marathon, and so it's a process, and process cannot be done by a compilation. It is to be done daily. So, see, you can skip newspaper a day or two if you are busy or if you got some other engagement. But honestly, from my own very experiences, if you try to read newspaper as a thing that will interest you, you at every morning you will be dying to read newspaper. You will be dying to know ki what has happened new in the nation. And see, at the end of the day, when you will be reading the monthly compilation, you'll be see that it was just a flick. I know everything, and you can just finish a monthly magazine just in an hour or two. So that is the importance of reading newspaper daily or daily updating yourself with what's going around you. So that's the approach I believe one must look into it.
Now, Arnav has asked a very good question that between January to May, should we completely skip the mains part?
Okay. See, Arnav, for the person who is writing their prelims first time or who has actually failed consistently, they can actually skip, because prelims is a very first stage, and if you don't clear, you actually started feeling that you don't belong to this UPSC journey. So for them it's good that they can even skip and do all sort of prelims preparation. But if you are a bit comfortable with your prelims and you believe that I am okay to do prelims in last 2 3 months in an intense manner, don't give on mains. I believe rather these months are good to complete your optional like a proper end, because at some point you believe that 2 3 months you won't be touching your optionals. So for me, January Feb is to complete my optionals in a manner that I write 3 4 tests of on all paper 1 and 2, complete my PYQs, and at the end of the day, my ethics is also completed in these 2 months. So in a same manner, you can use that, because once the March come or Feb mid comes, you won't be picking these subjects.
Uh, with respect to some students are saying that should we do open book test initially, like with respect to answer writing, to
Uh,
build that confidence?
I think it's a very first time question to me. I've even not tried any time. So from my limited knowledge, I would say that doing that is helpful if you are actually feeling like I am not able to write, because there's also a tendency that when we start writing answer, we feel like we don't know where to start from. So open book test can help you in that manner, that your actually stationery starts to be in run. Your pen actually start uh, lessening some of the inks, so that can be a helpful way of utilizing open book test. But I think keep it very short, either for initial 15 21 days, like the Jitu Bhaiya concept of 21 days of making an habit. So till that you can do that. Apart from that, go about yourself. See, paper in original people, you won't be doing a open book test, so can do it initially but not the whole time.
Okay. Pavan Kumar Survase is saying how to avoid monotonous answer writing. What approach to follow to keep variation in answers?
That is what the role of templates is. So that was I was actually telling before only, that if you are not using templates, answer will be pastel or either a very restricted some approaches. So using templates is the one of the best mechanism of breaking the monotonity of the answers. Secondly, see, if you are feeling that the answers is monotonous, the onus lies on you, that how you actually can inculcate more diverse approaches and answers. And for that you need to do practice. You need to understand that my content can be presented in a different manner, where the headings can be made in a manner that they read something out of the different framework rather than the very same framework that you are using.
Now, FAC Sports is, I mean, that's a name. Sir, writing mains this year, struggling with paper completion. So, how to
Okay.
complete paper on time?
See, that problem will stay with you until you go into your examination hall, because that is something which is an ongoing process. And I believe that there is somewhere you have a lack of preparation initially when you were in the pre before time. So, but not to worry, bhai. I was also on the very same page. The most important thing is that you continue writing. Don't give up on writing answers. Also, you can identify the area where you can actually save yourself for time. Like my approach was that since I was not able to complete my paper on time, so I used to use those 2 3 minutes given before when the paper are distributed. My question number 11th and 12th is actually completed in a question paper. I used to write all the frameworks there, and when the question paper comes, I'll directly use to complete my 11th and 12th answers in just 10 15 minutes. So that saved me 3 4 minutes extra, and that can actually help me push in the last few questions. So in this manner you can actually start innovating now. Use the test in this manner, that different frameworks, either starting from question 11 to 20 in this manner, or if you are starting from question 1 and 2, then how much question you are able to finish in an hour basis. So do that start mathematics and do that innovation in your preparation, and I think that will help you find your right strategy with time management.
Ritu is saying after how many revisions should we start making notes for mains?
No, you can even start without doing revision like the day one only. But for your final notes, revision does not matter. The importance is that how much you are confident with the content. So at there will be stage when you can actually make your own notes without even referring a copy or open a page, or seeing some book. So that is the right time when you can have your first 1 page notes. And apart from that, don't wait for revision. Start as you see content, start writing notes, and with time you can start practicing where you write notes without even seeing the paper.
Uh, Shrikant is saying what's the perfect time to shift from mains to prelims mode?
I think it's totally on us, on our very preparation where we stand. Like for me, initially it was like I have to shift in Feb anyhow to prelims. But now, when you get comfortable, when you understand that prelims can be done more easily, then you can shift in March. So totally on your practice, right? How much comfortable you are with your prelims. So that time frame has to be made by you, sir.
Now, with respect to, and this is a question that has been asked by many people also, that should we complete one subject at a time, or we should go for multiple subjects in a day? Because the basic query is that we get bored when we read the same subject every day.
Yeah,
So,
so same. It's good that I think we should all read multiple subject at one day, because at the when we will be doing our paper, the paper is not just of one subject. It's amalgamation of lot of subjects. So our brain is actually wired in a manner that they could actually see lot of challenges, lot of different paper at one time. So same with me. Like I used to read, like I made a combinations. Like when I'm reading ethics, I used to do GS3 with that. Like economics, if I'm doing, I would rather pick up national security. So a big pillar with a small two pillars, in that manner you can strategize so that you don't even get bored and you can actually have a fun time also with your preparation.
uh, with respect to ethics, right? Do you think this is the right time when we should prepare for ethics and make all these examples as
100%, 101%, because ethics is a paper where the score can be either 100 or 130.
well?
So from my very own journey, starting from 106, then moving to 125, and now 131, that change has actually been because my ethics has been done very early. Then it was all about adding the values to it. As sir used to tell us the good examples, good practices, innovating your answers with the Sanskrit shlokas, or broadening the content base so that you can do in your time between prelims and mains. So I would suggest complete your ethics now, the very basics, the definitions, the examples, and then use these months for value addition.
And with respect to ethics, like basically the example part and the value addition part, what is the best source for that? Do you think newspaper can be a good source for this?
Yeah, sir. Newspaper is actually a very good source. Apart from that, you can also be very smart in using Chat GPT if
Mm,
you want to get some good example.
mm.
Apart from that, your own very society, whatever is going on nearby by you, you can actually be very observant. Like I was from Mathura, so I have a very good examples of Lord Krishna stories. I used to quote them this time in examination. Apart from that, a good civil servants practices. There are a lot of compilations in market, so you can pick point some new examples if they have come upon, or if there's something new happening that will diversify your answer. So in this manner you can actually make your answer more holistic or more different from others.
Mm. Okay, now this is again a very good question with respect to essay preparation, because
Okay.
this is again a confusion, right? Ki essay is something that we need to prepare after prelims, or we should start in these months also, we should focus on essay.
I used to say that you can keep in the both manner. Like you can also do it now, or in a sense that you start understanding the broader content that you want to put in an essay on a very very simple topics like women issues, health. Such topics can be prepared now, but the major push is given only at the very late time when you have a good amount of content. So you can actually bring different contents. In this manner you can actually diversify your content, and you can make the right time right usage at the last of your preparation, but the initial time for the framework making, or for the very initial part of the preparation.
Okay. Now there are also some students here who are attempting 2027 attempt, and they have just started preparation. So if just like in a 1 minute or 2 minute, any broad strategy do you think they should follow for the, because
Sir, actually I
of
have
time.
requested you from other phone. Can you please join from that, because I think my battery gonna die in this soon. If you
Okay.
can let me in with another ID with
I
another phone.
think it's I think we are just wrapping up in 2 3 minutes.
Okay, okay. So for the 2027 preparation, the most important thing is that start reading basics now. Basics is most important. Start making the habit of reading newspaper. And third, and the most important thing, don't think you have a lot amount of time. That is the biggest confusion that we have, that we have a good amount of time, we can do it easily. Be very sharp with the time. Try to complete everything by 2026 and give yourself an year time for revision. So 2026 mid everything completed and then just about writing us an answer. So that when you come up with this strategy, then you write an history of clearing exam in one attempt. So on the very same note, try to utilize this time and this particular approach.
Now, just last two questions. That first is that how many times of revision should be done before prelims and mains? And secondly, how much answer writing should be done in these months?
Okay, so according to me, for the revision part, at least three iteration has to be done for prelims with the basic notes and the amount, the kind of paper that is coming. So these days, they are falling back to the basics. So at least three iteration of revision has to be done for prelims.
I believe that the battery is gone. So I think most of the answers we have already answered. And answer writing with respect to that, I think I should answer that answer writing is something that has to be done. At least 10 tests you have to do till December. So basically, I think we have almost answered all the questions. And basically, if we see that, ki in these 6 months, if I summarize, in these 6 months, we have to focus on answer writing. We have to get mains ready. We have to make our own one pager notes. So all these things, ये जो दोनों प्रोग्राम हैं हमारे नित्य प्रगति and mains test series, in both these things will help you with answer writing and note making per se. So as I've said again, that mains test series is starting from 30th of July, in which I will have 20 lectures of templates that I've taught Priyanshu also. So that these lectures will help you in writing very good answers. And Nitya Pragati Batch 4 is starting from 10th of August. So that's all that we have for today, and we'll again be back with another ranker shortly. Thank you.